Oh, this you crazy mother.
Okay, I thought I'd show you an update on some of the stuff going on around my house. Here, I have, oh dear, I even forgot what the heck they were called. I'll write it down in the description, but it wasn't really supposed to be here. Yeah, there's a couple weeds growing, but absolutely beautiful. This one here came up on first, and it's way done. These here are spiking out, and they'll slowly turn yellow as they go up, and the hummingbirds love them. You can see that the weeds pretty much have died. Still have my peonies. I see the rabbit attacked him. Get him back up there. And we have blooms in here. This has that look of the ironwood that Bat has in Arizona. But it's just starting to bloom. You can see there are a bunch of tiny ones in here. Let's go look at some of the other plants. Okay, I'm back. They're called red hot pokers. This is my cherry tree, pie cherry, and I had a few blooms on it. They're already passed on, but then who knows, maybe it'll have a few cherries. And as you can see, look how purple those things are. Absolutely beautiful. And here are the smoke trees, or smoke bushes. Red's really coming out nice. Like I said, I think that's the white one. And there's the big one. It's, I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's starting to put out its bloom, which is, looks like a puff of smoke. And just for a quick look, you can see all the brand new growth on my ferns. They're up against the train shed. I didn't get around to getting all the lower ones cleaned up. I think I'll do that next year. Been busy on Dad's. This is my pink hawthorn tree. Absolutely beautiful. It's about, what, 20-25 feet tall. Love the pink blooms. In a little while I'll show you the neighbor's white one that's about 2 fields away. In the meantime, this is my first apple tree I planted, and it, to me, it looks sick. It's just barely hanging on. So what I think I'm going to do, I sprayed the grass around the bottom of it, but anyway, I'm going to dig that up just a little bit to loosen the soil, and I'm going to start watering the heck out of it and see if it'll pop out. But as much moisture as we had, it should be better than what it is now. This here is my pawpaw plant, and I can see it's got these little blooms, but it is starting to leaf out and whatnot. And even with the blooms on here, I won't get any fruit because way over there I have my other pawpaw, and it's not really doing anything. This here is my peach tree. You can see where it looks like it kind of got burnt, but it was trying to bloom when I planted it, and then it snowed. So I'm happy it's got some leaves on it. This is my apricot plant, I do believe, and it's doing absolutely nothing. It don't even feel like it's alive. This is my Asian pear plant tree. You see, I'm gonna have some pears on it this year. Got to be careful though, because it's a new plant, and I don't want it to overload itself and start ripping the tree down. There, I only see a few pieces of fruit on there, so I don't think I have to worry. But if I did, I'd peel some of them off. This is my other pawpaw plant. It's just what they call a seedling. You can see down there, that's what it says. It's just here, so when it blooms, it needs 2 of these trees in order to get fruit. And like I say, this is just making it, and I see no blooms, so my pawpaw over there is not going to have fruit this year. I thought I'd show the wild poppies in here. This is vetch, excellent cow food. And of course some other wildflowers, little blue ones. This here is my olive tree, and I see I have just little spikes starting to pop at each one of these joints. Love them thorns. I guess you'd be careful when you be pruning that one back. So there's my pink hawthorn, and off in the distance, that white one back there is the neighbor's hawthorn, just as big as my tree. Here, as you can see, I sprayed that Roundup. It took 3 weeks before it even showed it was doing anything. The whole driveway I sprayed. My brother used a different kind, and his died in 3 days. We'll see if his stays dead longer than mine. Normally, if it dies slower, it usually kills clear down to the root. Peonies, they're getting ready to bloom. I put a basket around them, a wire basket, to hold them up because the blooms are so heavy. They usually fall over onto the ground. And over here I get my snapdragons. Haven't done anything to it except pull a few weeds out of there, but the snapdragons, which they usually do every year, come up again. The yellow on the rose I'm not too thrilled about. I'm sure it probably needs something in the ground. I don't remember what they call that. For some reason I'm thinking columbine, which that might be exactly what it is. And then my tree here, I was a little worried about it when I brought it from the farm, because my boy kind of weed whacked it on the trunk, but it was still doing good, and for some reason I don't think it made it. Too bad. It's beautiful. I'm hitting chicks down there. Oh, flamingos. You see where I sprayed the weeds around. We're back with the wild poppies and vetch. And of course, I didn't get done with the bed because I still have some more of the hydrangeas I was going to put in here, which they're not doing too bad for being spring. We'll look at them later and see what they look like in the summer. I did have a couple more in here, but they're brand new planted, and I don't know if they made it or not. This is my little fig tree. Looks like it's doing fine. It was stuck in a little pot. Let's see how well it does this year. I didn't realize it, but I have another purple lilac, and actually I have another one right there too. So I'm happy I have these two purple lilacs besides the back one that I need to try to get babies off of. And just across the street there's another hawthorn, the pink one that's blooming. That's what's so nice about these things. When they bloom, they go all up and down the stem, which is really pretty. But the thing is, these have these tiny leaves, and these leaves, when they fall off the tree, almost smother the ground, and they're too close to the house, they start plugging your gutters up. This tree is what, 12 foot tall, I'd say. Let's see, honeybees up in there. That's nice. As long as the honeybees aren't in my house, I don't mind. And here's my light colored lilac. Getting out here a little bit late, but they're already starting to fade a little bit. They're pretty, but not as pretty as the dark purple ones. I have this oak tree here that was planted by the birds. These are just wild oak that are growing in the woods pretty much everywhere around here. Roy's got a lot of them in the back of his place. And when I sprayed up to the mailbox along the road. Got my driveway done. Sprayed all the way down to Dad's and did his driveway. Sprayed around the bushes. Says it's only supposed to kill grasses and weeds. And so there's a rose bush right over here that back when I was young and living here, I planted it. It was supposed to grow approximately 25 feet both ways. And Dad used to have a wood fence in here. That's why there's those metal poles. He just bolted it to the poles. Well, I left, and then Dad, he bought the same thing. Mine was pink that I bought. He bought a white one, and he planted it in the same exact spot, not even seeing the rows I planted. And so now we have a white and a red, and eventually I'll get back to it and try to get some kind of a panel up there to start growing the rows onto it. Otherwise, as they grow out, we mow over the ends of them. So there's Dad's dead lawnmower. He bought himself a new John Deere. I'll show that to you in a little bit. And this here tree is a dogwood. I think Dad said it's a Japanese dogwood. But it's just about ready to pop open all of its blooms. See, I sprayed around it. Sprayed all inside the roses. It didn't hurt them a bit, which was nice. That way, you can see green grass where I didn't spray because I was trying to be careful. But this way it gives me a head start on trying to get that back to shape again. And I sprayed around Dad's mailbox. Say his driveway. There's Roy's place. You can see where he sprayed and killed, but I hate to say it, I think mine's gonna be a little bit better. Dad's place here, I tried to spray, so this used to be all into bark dust, but he didn't use the right killers on the ground before he put a ground cover on. So what I was trying to do is make it so you can take the lawnmower through and not be run over these bushes as you're mowing. These here I cleaned up last year. Cleaned up his beds last year, and then they started growing again because things just got busy around here. So all that grass needs to be pulled out again and possibly rebark dust properly. This here is an azalea. Yeah, there's your dog over there. He wants me to come over and pet him. That, or he wants me to come over and give him a piece of cheese. I usually take cheese, break it up for him one at a time. Anyway, this here's another smoke bush. I sprayed around it, but it's already been whacked big time by the lawnmower. Let me see if I can see it. Yeah. Right down there you can see where it's split. I can't do it, but I wanted to rip off this whole, well, this one side wouldn't be so bad, but realistically that whole thing needs to come off of there. But I'm not going to, so maybe it'll do it itself, but hopefully not. Dad's got a peony in here. And I don't know what those flowers are called. They're pretty, but usually I don't go for them because you have to, they're a ground cover. And fighting that grass in there, to me, isn't worth it. Now if you put that in a flower box, or it'd be easier to do it, that'd be great. I see he's got some iris in bloom. More iris getting ready to come in amongst the grass. I see a rose bush here in the corner. Yeah, and I see Dad's golden chain tree. Oop, didn't mean to go so fast, but golden chain tree is blooming over there. So maybe we'll wander over there and take a look at it. This golden chain tree is more like a bush now because the mother tree died. We ripped it out of there, got it all cleaned up, and now these are all the babies and whatnot, we'll say, suckers coming off of it, which is fine as long as it stays beautiful. I didn't spray around it, needs grass pulled out anyway, but here's one of his prettier rhododendrons. And these lilac, my mom bought it at the lilac farm, and so they're some kind of a hybrid, but they're really bushy. And right there, these here smell so nice around here, but they're not purple, they're that purplish red color. And this is the branch I'm going to whack off after they're done blooming. You can see I got some dead stuff to pull out, and I'm going to take these two off. And that's a black walnut tree. I couldn't tell you how high it is, maybe 50 feet. And then he's got see, that's a black walnut. And that pear is a black walnut. And then he's got the two English walnuts, which just looks a little odd because this one's all leafed out. That one looks like it's just leafing out, so I don't know if there's something wrong with it or not. They've both been producing enough nuts for all of us. And grapes. No, never does anything with them except mow around them. And that's a neighbor's place. Not thrilled with him. He's from California, I guess. He's been here for several years now, but he does not care about the neighbors. They till that up and they exercise, ride their horses or whatever, and all that dust flows across the street and swamps that house there. This is a eucalyptus tree. You have to go on the computer to see what you do with a eucalyptus. But Dad has this baby, we'll say, that came up, and he wants me to take it. So I gotta find out exactly what you do with these things to see whether I want to plant them in my fruit garden or just where I want to plant them. But besides, it's like a bunch of dead stuff in here. It looks like it's blooming of some sort. Don't know much about them. The burn pile over there is getting bigger. The backhoe will be coming in soon so we can dig the stuff out of the pond. Otherwise, Dad's apple trees have bloomed or are blooming. And this one over here, we almost killed. Roy mowed the lawn, picked up the grass, and he threw it around the tree, which is usually good. But for a newbie tree, it started to cook the plant, and Dad pulled it away, and he watered it. And you can see the new growth's coming back, but otherwise, what was on there kind of burnt. But see, it's coming back, thank God. And there's Dad's garden area. I have to get busy and get those peppers going, and then plant out there. And I don't know what all he's going to plant, but he usually has his rows about 5 foot apart, and that's so he can take his tractor and tiller, and that's how he weeds. Dad went over this. He mowed it with his brush hog again, so it looks better. You can see the color of it. He's got a pink hawthorn growing out there. And it comes into my place. There's my pink hawthorn. And of course my conyxes. Yeah, I hate to say it, but looks like, I know Dad was wanting to get in there and mow, but it looks like he's not picked up the branches. He's mowing underneath them trees. He wants them all clear looking. Let's go take a look at that lawnmower. Well, it looks like he took his brush hog in there. I see evergreen limbs on there. But this is his new shiny lawnmower. Oh shit, there's keys. In the dash it shows the gas gauge and battery, how high the battery is. It shows everything up in the dash. This here is a 380, and this is the lawnmower that's just under the garden tractors. Look at it now, it's nice and shiny. I give it a year unless we clean it up. That's normal for a lawnmower. You mow with it, check the oil, color good. Got place there, you can hook a garden hose in and run the blades and wash the underside of the deck. Tires, kind of tight in here. It's easy to adjust the deck from going down too far for a smoother ride. And of course you have the dial here that actually sets the level, but if your ground's uneven, those wheels are there to protect it so you don't gouge into the lawn. Very nice. So this is a definite sign. You got bird poop all over the side. Well, the starlings went up inside there and made a nest. And I missed it. If I hadn't gone to my son's, I was going to videotape the scrub jay would taunt these birds, the mama birds, and they brought in food. And every once in a while, the mama bird would drop their worm or bug or whatever it is to be able to scream at him. Well, he'd go down and eat that bug. So today's project, take some screws and screw that up in there because the nails aren't holding.